Hi, and welcome to What Women and Men Need to Know, and everyone needs to know the information we're going to share today. I've asked my friend Kathy White to come and give you the expert opinion today because Kathy is a registered nurse, an LPN, and she is retired. She's joined the ranks of the retired, but she has years of experience on the job. If it's happened, she's seen it.
Just about it.
And
that's true.
we shared on the way up to the station a lot of things, and it's always interesting. And she has worked in doctors' offices and seen patients for how many years, Kathy?
37.
37 years.
Almost 40.
So you can just imagine all the things that she has seen and experienced and helped to resolve in those 37 years. So we're happy to have you here today, Kathy.
Thank you.
We thought, because we had a caller who really inspired me to do this program. She had called me off the air and asked a question that was a very good question, and I actually was able to help her off the air. And she said, these are things we need to know. And I thought, well, if she needed to know the answer to some of these things that we talked about off the air, there are other people who might need to know. So today, I'm going to say thank you to the person and for encouraging me to do this, and to say to others, if you have things you would like us to talk about, then let me know, and we'll try to move in that direction as well. But summertime is here. I think yesterday it was here. Almost 90. I felt that it was almost here, whether it is on the calendar or not, Kathy. But
I think it's supposed to be that today.
Yeah, if it isn't, it surely is by the thermometer.
That's right.
And when it gets here, it brings its own set of problems.
Boy,
it brings
true.
Insects. It brings not perspiration. They say a lady perspires, but I think when it gets hot, we just plain sweat. Don't you?
That's exactly right.
We just sweat, and when we do sweat, whether it's male or female, you get uncomfortable in your clothing.
That's exactly right.
And if you're working, that's another added layer of problems that we have. We're going to talk about that. So if you have questions and you have specific problems with that, you can call in and ask those questions. And we also have problems because yesterday when it was 97, 87. I'm really getting out of range, aren't I?
Getting a little bit ahead
there. Getting a little ahead. I don't want to do that either. I liked it the other day when it felt like the air conditioning was on.
I know.
When it was cool. Because I've been working outside a lot. So I liked it then, but we also have the problem with the sun, because then we have problems with perhaps getting sunburn.
That's right.
And then we have that whole set of problems. And then we have the insects, because we have all the flying things, the biting things, the stinging things, the no-see-em things, every kind of thing that can crawl, creep, or slither.
That's exactly
things.
Right.
And so we have our own summer set of problems that we have to deal with in the warm weather. So that's what Kathy's going to help us with today. And we have summer activities too.
Yes.
And some of those activities bring on problems as well.
They do.
And some of those problems bring on accidents, special accidents too. So we just have our own set of special summertime problems, and we're going to address these today. So if you do have questions, comments, or concerns, or maybe you have something, a new remedy or recipe or
Yeah.
whatever, if you do, share it with us, especially if
Please.
it's something that you have tried and you know that it works. Share that with us, because we don't know anything. We just know some
That's
things.
right.
And we'd like to always add to our list.
That's exactly
because,
right. We learn daily.
we learn daily. I always say I love it when I learn something new,
know.
because it's
I
every
know.
day, and I want to continue to do that until the last breath
That's
I take.
right. Me too.
Because I never want to stop learning.
No, me either.
So, and usually that's easy for me. Easy for me to do.
Me too.
I look forward to learning. So where do we begin, Kathy? I mean, where do we
Well,
begin?
We actually can start with the heat rash, and this is something that we all have, and one of the old-fashioned remedies that's wonderful is using cornstarch in those areas that, those folds of skin that we have as we get older, and putting
Do they
some,
get closer together? Is it
I think they do.
They started out in one location and they moved to
They
another
moved to
place.
another. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just checking. That's what's happened.
That's
So,
exactly
yeah.
right. But using some just plain cornstarch, and Helen was also telling me, and I've never heard this before, that mixing cornstarch and Vaseline together, because the Vaseline helps keep the skin from rubbing and that type thing. And baby powder with cornstarch is wonderful. And to use that daily when you get ready and before you go out and during the day or anything, and when it's so hot especially.
And we have lots of men who are out working.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And ladies, this is not just our problem. There's men who have this problem too.
Right, because there are men who are doing work outside every day, and they
Yeah.
have, as you said, they have the same
They have
problems.
the same problem we do.
And it's young and old alike, because everyone, when you
That's
get
right.
hot and your clothes are rubbing and you're sweating, that's what happens. It's kind of like blisters on your feet.
Yes, it is. But those are one of the best things that I've ever found. And I know there's creams and there's ointments and that type thing that you actually can get over the rash. There's one for the rash over the counter. I'm sorry. There's one called Zeasorb, Zeasorb, and it's kind of under the skin an antifungal. And just keeping these areas dry is one of the main things, because if you don't, you begin to get little infections there and maybe a little fungus there, and it's irritating, very, very irritating. So
it's kind of like athlete's foot. I know you don't get athlete's foot on your body, but
That's
the
right.
kind of same type of thing.
Yeah.
Because it's a moist area that you can't. But if you're working all the time, you can't keep dry.
No, you can't.
It's not
That's
possible.
true. That's true.
And you're constantly sweating. You can't keep dry.
That's right. And something else that helps is getting in a tub of water. Just be sure and make it not real hot, but just a cool tub of water, and just kind of sit there and put an oatmeal bath in there. And if you can't get to the store to get an oatmeal bath, just use plain old oatmeal.
Like you have for breakfast?
Like you have for breakfast, and put it in a pantyhose or a knee-high or something like that, and tie the end. Just let your water get real cloudy looking and white, and that kind of helps to soothe that area. So.
Oh, I didn't think about you'd have a mess to clean up if you just dumped your
Oh yeah.
cup of oatmeal or whatever in
Yeah,
there.
don't do that.
That
would kind of be bad.
That would kind of be really bad. Trying to keep that from going down the drain.
Oh
Right.
yeah. So.
You know, I was thinking once I had an actual reaction to some medication and had a horrible welts. It was beyond rash. It was like
Big
welts on my body, and one of the things, and thinking about that oatmeal bath was one of the things
That's right.
beyond the prescription medication the doctor
Yeah.
gave me.
Yeah.
He also told me to use the oatmeal bath, and if I didn't want to get into the bath, just to take that and
And dabbing it all
Right.
over you. And the thing about it is, when you get out of the tub, don't rub yourself dry. Just kind of pat yourself. So that you have a little bit of oatmeal left on the skin, and that kind of helps too.
Another medication, and see, I learn things all the time, and certainly from him I always learn things. He also told me to get one of the older stomach medications, kind of in the same group as Pepsid, but it was not Malox, but it was one of the tablet form.
Okay.
But it was one of the older ones because they have something in it that relieves itching.
Oh,
And I
okay.
didn't know that, and I said, well, isn't that a stomach medicine? He said, yes, it's a stomach medicine, but it has an anti-itching agent in it, and that will relieve some of the itching, and it's just over the counter now. It's not prescription. So he's always teaching me new things.
Oh,
so
that's
I took
great.
that in addition to
Yeah.
the other things.
Yeah, we always learn things every day.
Right.
Every day.
So sometimes unorthodox methods
That's right.
work.
That's
When you're
exactly
itching,
right.
whatever works. Will
that's
be
right.
welcome
You
to.
don't really care what
Right.
you're going to use.
No. But like you said, just to pat it on your body, it's soothing.
That's exactly right. And the oatmeal bath is good for any kind of rash or itching or, that type thing.
So,
But
I'm glad you mentioned about putting that in a knee-high or pantyhose, because I hadn't thought about that.
Just be sure and tie the end of it.
Right, that's right. And you don't want oatmeal soup in your
No, that's
bathtub,
exactly right.
nor to have to
exactly
dip
right.
it all out. Oh, that wouldn't be fun.
No, not at all. Not
But-
at all.
But keeping those areas as dry as you can, and using preventive methods as much as you can.
That helps tremendously, because we as we get older, those things happen.
Right, and like I said, younger people also.
Yeah, and even
if
younger
you're-
people have
Right,
problems. Yeah, that's
So-
right.
If you have the problem, then there are some remedies for you. So,
Oh yes.
so
yes,
look
there
for them.
is.
Don't let it become a real big
Real
problem
big
before
problem.
it's
That's
easier to
right.
solve
That's right.
back in the early stages than before
Yeah.
it gets to be
Before it gets
something
too bad.
big. Yeah, right. And a lot of these things are available. They're just common items that you can find easily.
That's right.
So
That's right.
if you have a question or you have something you think is unique or specific, then
That's right. If
give
you
us
have a
call.
remedy.
Right, yeah, if you have another remedy, then
that we could
yeah.
that anybody could use, that's great, because it's always good, because people, some of those old-fashioned remedies are better than the newer ones.
they really worked. Yeah, they
That's
really
right.
did work.
That's right.
There was a reason, and they
Yeah.
did really work. So.
Yeah.
But you can prevention, I still believe an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Yes, and
So,
and the baby powder really helps a lot. And if you can't get the baby powder, then use the cornstarch.
right.
And you can just make sure when you buy the baby powder that it's not perfumed or anything like that, that it has the cornstarch in it.
It is basic.
And
yeah,
it's your basic. So
everything
that
now
helps.
is so
I know.
perfumed. I know. Everything.
yeah, and that doesn't help. Sometimes that irritates
Right.
more than it helps.
Right.
So
look for the basic products always,
That's right.
and that's going to be your
That's
best
right.
choice, generally speaking. And like, how many? We could do a whole show on the uses of petroleum jelly.
that's exactly right.
For sure. And of course, we use cornstarch for more things than thickening pies too.
That's
don't we,
exactly
Kathy?
right.
So,
Well, go ahead, Helen.
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
What do you have next on your
Um,
list?
I had kind of looked into some snake bite thing because I know that I had heard actually yesterday on the news that there was already 55 snake bites in our area around
Wow.
Tennessee and Georgia, that area. And a third of those were copperheads. And so I was kind of looking at some things on that too. And the main thing is to get, if you can, get a picture of that snake and keep it with you, so that, or if you can get the snake, just be careful, especially if it is a snake that's poison, because it mentioned in one of the things I read that they could actually bite, and you could get the venom in there. And the articles also talked about, do not use the cut and get the poison out of there, because you can get that in your system also. Just the main thing is get to the closest hospital as soon as possible, and be careful and wear your socks outside your pants if you're in the woods and like to go hiking and like to go on trips and that type thing during the summer.
I would
That's,
think too, Kathy, if you were taking a picture, and of course everybody's going to be on heightened alert. In other words, you're going to be shaking, but if you can, it would be more important to get a picture of the head of the snake.
That's right.
Because all poisonous snakes
That's
have a
right.
triangular head.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that would help a trained eye
That
to be
would.
able to
It would.
determine the type of snake they were looking at,
Yeah.
more so than if you just got a picture from another location. So if you have an opportunity to take a picture with the head, that would be more beneficial than just
That's right.
snapping
That's right.
one.
And it one of the articles also said to lay the person down and actually get the area that was bitten lower than the heart to make sure that the blood's not flowing onto the heart when you do that, because and try to keep them calm. Of course,
Yeah.
I would have a hard time being calm if a snake had bit me, but especially until I knew what kind it was, because I'm scared of snakes anyway. But that's
most
the main
people
thing. Yeah, is to keep them calm and get them to relax and lay down and put that area down below the heart.
So if it's your foot where you were bitten, you need to either be standing or sitting. Keep the foot down lower than your heart. So.
I had a friend of mine to tell me yesterday that that she had heard someone say once that they said, well, what kind of tool do you need if you get bit by a snake or something? And the person said, your car keys. get in the car and go to the hospital.
Quickly.
Quickly. Don't try to take care of it.
Yeah,
Just
right.
get in and go to the hospital as soon as you can.
You know, they used to have those little snake
Yes,
bite kits
yes,
where you had,
yeah.
you know, a little tourniquet and
Yeah.
all kinds of little things. We used to have one, and I guess everybody did.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
and sometimes time is really a factor,
Oh, that's
depending on the
exactly
size of the
right.
snake
It is.
and your
It
condition
is.
and you know, your condition of your
That's
health.
right.
But,
That's right. That's
getting,
right.
You know, getting to
Get there as soon as you can.
right, it's important.
So that's the main thing.
People have died, and if you're out somewhere by yourself, that's not good either. I mean, you don't
No,
need to
it's
be out in a
not.
remote
No,
area by
no.
yourself, because
No.
if you were to be bitten, then there's no one for you to.
That's right. Now they're saying to not apply the tourniquet
Right.
and to give the person alcohol or caffeinated drinks or any other medication. Do not do that, because the caffeine kind of speeds things up a
Right.
little bit, and so that makes the poison go faster than it would normally. So do not do any of those things. Don't cut or bite the wound. Don't attempt to suck out the venom. Do not apply a tourniquet, ice, or water. Do not give the person caffeine, alcohol, or caffeinated drinks or any other medications. So
Just try to keep them
just
calm.
try to keep them calm
as you are
and
driving.
yeah,
quickly.
that's right. That's right. Maybe lay down in the back seat and put that area down as low as you can.
Right.
You know, so.
I know there was someone, it was a man several years ago, was out in Mountain Cove, and they found him in his truck. He had walked and gotten back to the truck, but then he couldn't get in.
Yeah, and don't
further.
let the person walk
Yeah.
at all, you know,
Do
because
you remember that? It's been several years ago.
I think I do. But yeah, that's, you know, when they're out in the woods by themselves, that's hard to do.
Right. So, and especially being alone.
That's
you know,
exactly
That's
right.
why I said don't
Yeah.
be in a remote
Area.
by yourself.
That's
but
right.
having a cell phone
Oh yeah,
can be
much
your
better.
lifeline. I try not
That's
to
right.
go outside without my cell phone.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because that could be your lifeline.
It's always good to have that on you.
Right.
You
At
know.
least you could call someone and let them
That's-
know
that's
where you
exactly
were and what has
right.
happened.
Yeah, yeah. And call 911, you know, and then, you know, call someone else. But get somebody there as soon as you can, because timing is a factor too in that problem.
You know, Kathy,
So.
we, for several years, we've had an overabundance of copperheads in our area
Yeah.
because the natural predator of the copperhead has just nearly become extinct, and that's the indigo snake. So that's why we've just been inundated with the copperhead.
Oh, okay.
He's lost his
He's
natural
lost the-
predator.
Yeah.
So they're actually working on a program to get more indigo snakes back in Georgia.
Oh, that would
to,
be good.
To maybe
Yeah.
build back that balance.
Yeah.
I know Auburn University is helping in that effort. So that's what happens when you know
When
nature
that
gets
goes.
out of balance.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if people wonder why there have been more copperheads in the area, that's why.
That's right.
When they don't have any.
That's interesting. I didn't know that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. And
That's-
they are aggressive. Copperheads are
yes,
aggressive.
they are.
Mhm.
Yes, they are. So I'd rather not find a snake anywhere.
Well, you know, I knock on wood. I haven't seen any, And I said that one time
Don't say that,
I
Helen.
hadn't
Don't
seen
say
any, and I
that.
saw 3 in 1 week. So,
Please don't say that.
I'll just say I've been lucky I haven't
There
seen
you
any.
go. There you go.
But that doesn't mean you don't know. You need to know what to do if you do see one. And if it's a poisonous snake, you need to move in the other direction.
Oh yeah, if you see it, go the other way.
That's right. I'm not afraid of snakes. I'll pick up a rat snake or something and move it to another direction.
No, not me. I'm not picking up
But-
any snakes.
But you need to know, so that's why you need to know what the difference is in the two. You need
Yeah.
to know the
Yeah.
different
You do.
characteristics. Because
You do.
we need those rat snakes.
Yes, we do.
We don't need
We
to kill
do.
those. They're good snakes, so.
And we just need to be careful and make sure that it's a rat snake, because I don't really know one snake from another one.
So you wouldn't want to be killing off the natural predator
that's
of those
right.
that are
That's right. That's right.
going to be taking over. So you
That's
don't
right.
want to kill the good snakes.
That's right. I will never forget my mom mowing the grass one time, and we had just moved into this house, and she was going to pull some of the weeds around the house, and she goes over and she puts about one pull, and she starts screaming, "Kathy, Kathy!" And I was like, "What?" She says, "I just found a snake. Get somebody out here." And I'm like, "But who am I going to get?" So anyway, but we had those little bitty ground snakes, or I think they call them ground rattlers or something, that are, I don't know what they are, but anyway, they were little bitty snakes.
Was it a rattlesnake?
I don't think it was an actual rattlesnake. It was just a little bitty long snake.
Little brown snake?
Yeah, it was kind of brown.
Kind of brown.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
just a little rat snake.
It may have been. So
I found one in my flower bed one day. It wasn't so small, but I didn't want it right next to the house, so I just picked it up on my hoe and walked to the end of the driveway and was going to take it across the road.
mhm.
And my neighbor was coming down the road. He literally ran out the road. He slammed on his brakes and jumped out of the car. He said, "Woman, what are you doing?" I was standing there with the snake on the end of my hoe.
You're a brave
He
lady,
said, "Woman,
Helen.
what are you doing?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, he was sweating. He was just,
Mhm.
and I said, "Well, I found this snake in my flower bed, so I was going to take it across the road." He just stood there shaking his head. He said, "Oh, I can't believe you got that snake on the end of that hoe." I said, "It's just a snake. Get over it."
Oh my
I just didn't
goodness.
want it in my door. I mean, I was
Yeah,
afraid it would come
yeah.
out at the wrong time
Yeah.
and somebody would have a heart attack in my door.
Yeah, that's exactly
I'm just
right.
moving him to a better location. Well, he thought I would totally lost my mind. But, they're good snakes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't want them
Yeah.
in your door.
In your door.
Right.
That's exactly right. I don't want them around.
Anyway,
Anywhere.
They do good work. They do good work. So don't kill all the snakes, because you might be killing
That's
one
right.
that's going to be killing
That's
a
right.
rat.
Something that's going to be good for us.
That's right.
And
Copperhead. You don't want to meet a copperhead.
no, you don't. And something else that we have a lot in the summertime, and sometimes if it's warm in the winter, is a tick bite.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting to find out some things that, because they discouraged rubbing the Vaseline. I've always heard either Vaseline or nail polish remover or something like that, and put it on top of the tick and get the tick to turn loose.
Right.
And they, the articles that I read encouraged not doing that. They
So what are
said
we to do?
that what you're supposed to do is take a pair of really fine eyebrow tweezers or just tweezers of some kind and catch it by the head. Be sure you catch it by the head as far up as you can and pull it out that way.
By the head. Okay.
So I was, I had
Even
never
if
heard
it's
that.
on your dog, you'd pull it out by the head.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They said grab it as close as you can to the mouth, because that way it doesn't, when you mash the head, it doesn't, send anything out. And we haven't had, I was talking to a friend of mine who is, she's actually a doctor, and she was telling me that we haven't had a lot of Lyme disease in the area.
That's good.
So maybe we won't this year. I hope not anyway, because people get really sick with that.
Yes.
But the thing about it is, if you get a snake bite or if you get a tick bite or any, fire ants or anything, if you're not up to date on your tetanus shot, you may need to go ahead and call your doctor and get in for a tetanus shot.
Oh, really? Okay.
So that you'll be protected, from tetanus, that type thing.
So with the tick, there's an indicator for if it is the possibility of Lyme disease, and that's that circle around it. Is that right?
I think it's like a white dot.
Okay.
I'm not sure on that. But it's
Oh, okay. All right. Well, our caller hung up. All right, we need to take a break anyway. Rick just said we've run over time for our break,
Sorry.
Kathy. But we will take a break now, hear from our sponsors, and we will come back. We have more to tell you, and we'll be back after these messages.
We're on the air 24/7, a North Georgia taste of heaven, a fun place to be. And we're your family, UCTV.
For over 5 decades, your neighborhood ShopRite supermarkets have been the standard for quality and service. Locally owned means you'll find a smile on every aisle, best meats at the best prices, farm fresh produce, and always weekly specials on a variety of products. Get the ShopRite seal of approval. Stop in and you'll see you can't shop wrong at ShopRite.
ShopRite this week, they have boneless pork chops for $2.39 a pound, boneless chicken breast for $1.99, and they also have a 5-pound bag of Idaho potatoes for only $1.69, corn on the cob, 3 ears for $1. You can't beat that anywhere. It's just in time for cooking on the grill. They also have Food Club Deluxe dinners, including macaroni and cheese for $1.29, and they have bottom round steaks for $3.29, bottom round roast for $2.99, and in their produce department they have zucchini or yellow squash 99 cents a pound, and yellow, orange, or red bell peppers for 99 cents, and those sweet cantaloupes 2 for $4. These are just a few of the many bags where they still take your groceries to the car.
The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is right now. The same rules apply to financial success. Saving money is the first step towards financial independence, and at the Bank of Lafayette, we have an investment account for every situation. How much you save is not nearly as important as establishing a regular pattern of saving and placing of your money aside in a safe and secure place. Whimsical thinking and immediate gratification can rob you of a financially secure future and a safe and comfortable retirement. At the Bank of Lafayette, we can help you choose an investment account that will help you reach your immediate, short-term, and long-term goals. The one rule that always applies across every economic timeline and condition: the sooner you begin saving, the faster your money will grow. Bank with confidence at the Bank of Lafayette, your hometown bank for more than 110 years. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
At the Rosewood Assisted Living and Memory Care, we have everything your senior could want in a safe, comfortable residence. Several levels of services include short-term housing for weekends or longer, assisted living where the staff provides a watchful eye while preserving your loved one's privacy and dignity, or independent living where residents are able to take care of themselves yet have access to all amenities and a sense of security. And the Rosewood on Battlefield Parkway specializes in memory care for patients of Alzheimer's or dementia. Call today for a tour of our campus.
MetaThrift Pharmacy, located at 324 West Patton Street in Lafayette, across from the ShopRite. MetaThrift Pharmacy provides prescription drugs, including compounded prescriptions. They also have diabetic supplies, including custom diabetic shoes. They have lift chairs, potty chairs, shower seats, and other durable medical equipment. MetaThrift Pharmacy in Lafayette has a friendly, well-trained staff that will help you with your drugstore needs, whether you're on the phone or in the store. You may also leave your refill request on their automated phone system, available 24 hours a day. Make them your choice for your pharmacy needs. MetaThrift Pharmacy, 706-638-3114.
It's the Honeybee Festival 2017 in Lafayette, Georgia, on the square, beginning at 9 a.m. June the 3rd. Folks, there's live music, arts and crafts vendors, food vendors, a barbecue competition, baking contest, cruise-in, antique tractors, the Birds of Prey exhibit from Chattanooga Nature Center, a free kid zone with face painting, games, and inflatables, honeybee and beekeeping tips, exhibits, and demonstrations, and featuring country music superstar Craig Morgan. Also, the Stepping Stones, Channing Wilson, Robbie Hopkins, Sons of Sailors, and many other groups. It's free admission, and it's sponsored by Pigeon Mountain Trading and CHI Memorial. The Honeybee Festival on the Square, June 3rd in Lafayette.
Want to continue that commercial for just a minute. I want to encourage everybody to enter the baking contest. The prizes are wonderful, so you can pick up an entry form. You can download one from the website. The website is myhoneybeefestival.com, I believe. You can call the city at 638 1591, I believe it is, 639-1591. But all you have to enter to begin with is a recipe. There will be an elimination. Those winners will be asked to bring the actual baked good to the contest on June the 3rd. The first place winner is in the division 12 and under, and 13 and over is $100. In each of those, second place is $50, and the grand prize winner gets that Roper range, stainless steel range. I mean, what couldn't you like about that?
That's right.
The prizes are excellent.
That's right.
Plus, being part of the Honeybee Festival. It's a wonderful opportunity, so all you have to do is find a recipe. I got a call just before I got out of the car from City Hall. Someone had called and said, can I use a recipe that uses a cake mix? I said, sure. We did not designate, there are no parameters on this baking contest. If you can bake it, as long as it has a taste of honey, we didn't stipulate that you could, it had to be a scratch or an original or anything else. If you can come up with a recipe, we will allow you to enter it. So please do so. Take the time to do that. This time next week at 12 o'clock will be the deadline. The 24th at 12 o'clock will be the absolute deadline. No, it won't be extended to the end of the day. No, it won't be extended to the next day. At 12 o'clock is the deadline, period. So you have a week to get it, as they say, to get her done. So if you can't do that in a week, well, see, you could be testing a recipe a day. Somebody in your family would like that, or some friend of yours would like that. So take that opportunity and participate in in the Honeybee Festival. It's going to be a wonderful celebration, and you don't have to live in the city of Lafayette to participate either. So that's another thing I'll say. So I'm going to challenge all of you, because if you don't enter, you don't win. You can't win. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, we have some more things to talk about, Kathy. We got to talk about stings and things.
That's right. That's
so
right.
What do? I usually get stung at least once.
Well, the main thing is to make sure that you're not allergic to the whatever stings you.
Yes.
And Neil and Carolyn at MediThrift gave us a little sting kit that Carolyn said that she used with her children all the time when they were little. So it was recommended. It's called Sting Kill, okay. And it kills the pain and stops the itch with good strength. So that's something to try.
Okay, there we go. Sting Kill. It's 20% benzocaine.
Yeah.
And it gives you directions on the back as to how to do it if you're not. So that's neat, just to have those right handy and ready to use, including jellyfish. So these would be good to take to the beach with
take to the beach, because jellyfish really sting.
They do. Oh, those really hurt.
Yeah, they do. And something else that you can do if you happen not to have the sting kill or something like that is to make a paste out of meat tenderizer. And just meat tenderizer and water and mix that up and put the paste on the sting. And that'll help too. It kind of draws the sting out of it a little bit.
Just like it tenderizes the meat, it kind of gets into the sting and does the same thing.
And something, if you should have to go to the emergency room or if you happen to be allergic to it, be sure, and if you can, get the tick or the whatever stings you, maybe the bumblebee or whatever, wasp or whatever it is, because those things are all flying now. And especially kids, be sure and have it with you when you go to the emergency room or when you go to the doctor. Right. And that helps them out sometimes.
Yeah. If you know what it is, especially.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It does. It does. And if you happen to know ahead of time that you are allergic to bees or you are allergic to something that may bite you, be sure and take an epinephrine pen with you to have on hand. Especially if you're going hiking, and these things are very expensive. So
this is the one in controversy.
Yeah,
It is.
Heard
it
about
is the EpiPen.
Big time, and there is a generic in the EpiPen. And it's a little bit cheaper, but not a whole lot yet.
Because the same company makes both of them.
That's
and
right.
So they just hike them all up.
That's right. And if you can't afford that, get your doctor to tell you how much, epinephrine to give. And, maybe a syringe or something, and keep that with you, especially if you've got somebody that's really allergic to bees or wasp or something like that.
Because epinephrine is not that expensive.
No, not the bottle. Right. It's really, really better if you can have the kit, because you actually can tell more about what you're drawing up. But if not, then a lot of people, and it's so expensive, a lot of people can't afford it.
Exactly.
And I understand that.
That's a good point, Kathy. I had not thought about that, but it's almost prohibitive now for some people.
It is because it's so expensive,
and it is a life or death.
Yes,
it is a life or death. So that would be much preferable.
Right. That's right. And just be sure that you go by what your doctor says, and don't try to do it on your own, because you don't want to do that. You could give too much, and that wouldn't be good either. So it's really better if you've got a pen.
Yeah, that's the foolproof.
That's right.
That
That's
is
right.
the foolproof, but
That's right.
it would be better to have something than
That's
to be
exactly
dead.
right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
That's not
So-
reversible.
No, that's right. And allergy pills, Benadryl, that type. Any kind of antihistamine is good to have on you. If you happen to be somewhere and your child gets bee stung and they've never been allergic to it before,
You never know.
you never know what they're going to be allergic to. So
Now, what about the liquid? Is it better to have the liquid available for
with
that?
with smaller children, yes, I
What
would have
about
the liquid.
adults?
Adults, you can use the liquid on adults, but it's going to take a lot more.
Right, but is it better because that gets in your system faster than the pill?
That's true. That's true, and it would be better to have that. But if you don't, then always keep some kind of antihistamine or Benadryl or something in your pocketbook. Just to be on the safe side, because I'm allergic to a lot of things, so I have to keep it with me.
Something in your purse.
That's right, and my children are too. So I have to keep things. I've always had to keep things with me. So.
Yeah.
Bee stings. There's an afterbite that you can get over the counter, which is actually the itch relief, and that will help too. And just a cold compress. Wash the area real good with soap and water. And if you happen to be in the woods and don't have soap and water, if you've got antibacterial gel or wipes or something like that, then clean it off real good with that. It's better than nothing,
Right.
And then dry it real good. And if you do see that there's any difficulty breathing, if their tongue starts swelling, they start breaking out in a rash, then get them onto an emergency room. So
Yeah.
that you can
Because it happens
take
fast.
care of them. Yes,
Yeah.
it can happen real fast. Because I had a friend who had a little girl who had never been allergic to bee stings before, and she got stung one Sunday afternoon, and had to call the doctor, and they met him at the office and took care of took care of her. But it was kind of a scary thing.
Yeah. It is.
So
And what about for if you get stung multiple times, like with yellow jackets? They're just they're so brutal.
Yeah, they are.
Do you take ibuprofen or Tylenol or
You
whatever
can,
to relieve
to relieve the pain.
yeah, because it is very painful.
Yeah. Or the Benadryl helps. Because sometimes they'll make you sleepy and you don't care whether you've got the pain or not.
Right.
But yes, that would be, you could do that.
Okay.
So,
'Cause that
and
just-
if it continues to stay red and inflamed and looking like that, be sure and follow up with your doctor. That's an important thing, because you don't want to get an infection, or anything like that. And sometimes we tend to scratch that area and really get it irritated, and it's better to go on and let your doctor check it out.
Okay. Good to know.
So,
Okay.
all
What's
right.
next?
Well, the next one, and somebody was asking me the other day about fire ant stings. And I don't know if y'all have seen, but we have quite a few of those around, those huge hills that we have.
Yes, overnight. 5 seconds to build.
That's right. That's exactly right. And you move away from that mound as soon as you can. And if you get some of the ants on, you get them off as soon as you can. But treat them like you would the other problem. If you have any hives, itching, swelling of the areas, any difficulty breathing, those are going to be your keys if you ever have a reaction to something. Is whether it's food, something that bites you or anything like that, is to be sure, and if you start having difficulty breathing or you start breaking out in a rash, you need to get somewhere, to a doctor real fast. And let them know what kind of problems you're having when you get there so that they can go ahead and get you taken care of. And the thing about the fire ants is those hurt. And you can actually wipe the area off with rubbing alcohol. And it said after brushing off the ants, immediately rinse the area with rubbing alcohol and leave it wet. And then elevate the area and sprinkle a generous amount of meat tenderizer on that area. So, the meat tenderizer just really helps. That's great to keep on hand, if you don't have anything else especially.
Their bite is just so potent.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is. It is just so
it hurts.
potent.
I mean, it really hurts. So, you can also try rubbing the bite very carefully with a paste of baking soda and water. And I didn't know that, so I learned some things. And cold compresses really help also. Either in a little ice pack or cold compress, and that'll help the area.
Because it feels like one little bite just feels like it goes
Oh,
down
yeah.
to the bone.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly right. So, those are the main things with the fire ants. And another problem that we have is poison ivy. And a cortisone cream, or there's an ivy dry cream that you can get over the counter. And that's it's temporary relief of the pain and itching. And
Is that
that's yeah.
Neil's,
Yeah.
Neil
Yeah.
and I have a lot in common. One is we both get. I'm so allergic to all the ivy, poison oak, poison ivy, all of those, and I have been my whole life since a child. I've been so allergic.
And I understand that Neil has a concoction that he mixes up that you can get for poison ivy. So if nothing's helping, then you might want to go to Neil and say, hey, I need that thing that you mix up for that concoction you mix up for poison ivy. And let him mix up some of his secret cream for you.
I tell you, it's
Be sure to. The thing about it is, be sure to keep any area that you have clean and dry, and watch for infection. The main thing is if you start to have swelling or you start to have redness and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, don't try to treat it yourself. Go on and let your doctor check it out.
yeah.
And see what's going on, because that can be frustrating. And you say, well, I can't do that. But, a lot of times one visit will take care of it. And if you let it go for a long time, then, it takes a lot, can take more visits than that to take care of it.
Well, that's the way I am with poison oak. If I have, and always have been, if I have one, little place,
That's
that's
right.
what I have to do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to be head to toe, and it's going to be a month. And so you learn what your,
That's
limitations
exactly
are
right.
and what it's
That's
going to
right.
take to fix the problems.
That's exactly right.
Make sure you know what it's going to take
Yeah.
to fix yours,
Yeah.
because sometimes an over-the-counter will fix something, and sometimes it's not.
Sometimes
Unless
it
you have
won't.
something
That's
that
true.
if you
That's
have
true.
something at home that will take care of it,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
you can go ahead with that. Otherwise, you need to go where
Yeah.
you can get some help.
That's
the help
exactly
that's going
right.
to really
That's
take
right.
care of it.
Because actually, we worry about that one visit, but sometimes it actually saves us money in the long run.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And there was one more thing I wanted to touch on, and that was a brown recluse spider. If you know for sure that that's a brown recluse spider, go ahead and go on and let your doctor check you out, because there's, I've seen over the years, I've seen cases where people have wound up having to have surgery on that area, because it just kills the tissue and injures it, and so they really wind up having a lot of problems with it. And so I would just go on and let the doctor check that out ahead of time, because the brown recluse is pretty poisonous, and they,
Yes.
they do injure deep into the tissue and the muscle and that type thing. So go ahead and go and get that checked beforehand.
And they're very prevalent around
They
here.
are. They
Very
are
prevalent.
a whole lot more than we used to have. So
And you never see them, I think,
that's right.
before they get you.
That's exactly
Usually,
right.
I think. Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
There you go.
Well, there are lots of things out there trying to get us, but if we're armed and we know what we need to do, then we're going to be better prepared to handle those. Thanks to Kathy for
Thank you.
sharing these tips with us today, and hopefully we're going to be out of the poison oak and out of the sun and keeping ourselves
That's
cool
right.
and
That's
free
right.
of rashes and other maladies for the sun and having fun. So thank you so much, Kathy
thank
White,
you.
for sharing your
Thanks.
expertise with us today, and we hope that all of you will get your recipes now ready for the recipe contest for next Wednesday. Have them in by next Wednesday. Don't wait until next Wednesday to turn them in. Something might happen. So our time's up. We have to go now, but we'll be back again next Wednesday for what women and men need to know. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.